welcome back to another fabulous day with science. I am so excited if you're joining us for the first time. My name is Dr. Erica, and I am so thrilled to have you join our fun and expanding community-based science to keep us off of mushy brains for the next 6 weeks. So we have a lot in store. This week is sort of science from the garden. Yesterday, what did we do yesterday? Yesterday,
we made planets.
I can't remember. Yesterday we made planets. Thank you. Oh, Evan to the saving. So yesterday we made planets because we wanted to look at where does a planet have to be able to host life? And we talked about how it needs water. And the sun is really important to our Earth. It gives our Earth lots of energy. And we're actually going to look at how important the sun is to plant growth today. And we're going to ask a really interesting question of, do we need to use sunlight to grow plants, or could we use colored light to grow plants? It's going to be a great question. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But before we get to that, I just want to say, make sure that you subscribe and get notifications from our YouTube channel so you know when we are live, and give us a thumbs up on the YouTube videos, on Facebook. And if you want all of the downloads and all that jazz, you can head on over to Patreon and you can support our community science effort that we're doing. If you're online right now and you're watching and you want a little hello from me, you can type that into the comments box right now. And during that time, I am going to go over the stuff you need for today. And then we're also going to do, before we start today's project, we're going to look at how to change the salt for our mummies that we started last week, and also how to prepare the most important ingredient for tomorrow's purple cabbage project. All right, so for today, there's two options, because I know that Amazon is having trouble shipping. Well, not having trouble, but they are not shipping things that are not essential, like copper tape is probably not essential. So if you don't have those supplies in yet, totally fine. I have an option for you. So if you're going the non-electronic version, the things you're going to need is some sort of yogurt cup, toilet paper tube, eggshell, whatever you need. Some seeds of whatever choice you have. It does not matter what seeds you do. And if you're doing the non-electronic version, you'll need 2 Ziploc bags and then like some sort of marker of color. I prefer permanent markers because the washable ones don't go on plastic very much. So if you're going non-electronic, you'll need sort of Ziplocs and some permanent markers of a specific color, whatever color you want to test. If you are going to join us and you're doing it the electronic version, we are going to make like a really cool paper circuit to light up our light with a specific color of light. And to do that, you'll just need sort of a strip of cardboard. I have really thin cardboard, but this will work just fine on thicker cardboard. So if you have cardboard, cardstock paper, I wouldn't use regular paper. So if you have a chance, you can go grab that last Amazon box that came in a few weeks ago at this point, I guess, to use this. And we just need a little strip of it. Because what we're going to end up doing, it needs to be a little bit long, we're going to end up attaching a light right here to it. So you'll need that. You'll still need the yogurt cups, the dirt, and the seeds. And you'll need that piece of cardboard. You'll need one of these little coin cell batteries, a CR2032 battery. You'll need some copper tape. You don't need a ton of it, but you'll need some of it. And then you'll need an LED that's just a single color. So if you got kits from me, the clear LEDs are very often, they're not white, they're actually rainbow and they flash. So you would want to look for an LED that has like a colorful piece here, and you want just a single color LED. So that's what you would need for those projects today. Oh, and scissors. And I think that's like actually really all you need for the whole day today, which is awesome. Before we start changing our mummies and our purple cabbage, who is joining us?
We've got, from the top, George and Henry. Say hi.
Hello, George and Henry. Yes, you guys have been here like every day. I love it. It's so exciting to see you guys. And in Zoom, too. I love seeing your projects.
Griffin is here.
Hello, Griffin. Yay. And we know Griffin has the supplies to do it with us because we got to see him yesterday. From afar, of course. From very afar.
Raiden says hi.
Hi, Raiden.
Our friends, the Huntleys, Amelia, Chloe, and Calvin are here.
Oh, good morning, Huntleys. It's so good to see that you're joining us today.
Joseph and Rex are making a show.
Of course, Joseph and Rex. Hello, Joseph and Rex. It's great to see you today.
And we got Kaya's here.
Kaya, every day. I love it. Oh, I'm so happy you guys are all coming to join us so regularly. This is amazing.
Clara and Anna are here.
Hello, Clara and Anna. It's great to see you again.
We have Taylor, Jacob, and Megan.
Taylor, Jacob, and Megan.
Pennsylvania. Wait, no. From Virginia.
From Virginia? I'm so excited. Oh, welcome. You guys were here yesterday, and I love that we're like coast to coast right now. That's amazing.
We have the good kids who are from Pennsylvania.
All right. Well, there's a lot of good kids from Pennsylvania, but I'm sure there's a few select good kids, which is cool.
Elsa and Lauren are here.
Good morning, Elsa and Lauren. How are you ladies today?
And I think that's who I have.
All right.
Now.
Hopefully we didn't miss a shout out. If we did, you can comment to Evan, or if you have questions while we're doing the project, you can comment to Evan and he'll read them off to me, which is really handy. And then of course, after we'll go into the Zoom session with my girls. They'll be here in Zoom and we'll build it together again. So if you have questions, you can ask them too. But I totally encourage you to ask any questions that you have as we're going, because people who are going to watch this later don't have access to the Zoom because we don't record it just for privacy. So if you have questions, somebody else is going to have that question. Always ask your questions. There's like no bad question unless like, no, I don't know. Is there a bad question? I don't think there's a bad question.
You repeat it without.
Yeah, I guess if you don't think about the answer once you got it and then you repeat it, over and over again. But other than that, like ask your question because somebody else has that question. And if you need clarification, ask for clarification because somebody else is like, I really don't get it either. And I won't know because I've done this for a really long time. So some of this, I'm like, of course everybody knows this. And then sometimes my husband will be like, a what? What's an electron? And I'm like, not everybody knows that. So make sure you ask questions as we go.
We already have a question.
Oh, perfect.
From Kaya and her mom.
Yeah.
Can you help us understand the worksheet?
Oh, the printout for today?
Yeah.
Yes. I did not print out the worksheet for today.
I'll print it out real quick.
But Evan's going to print it out. I'll put it up. And in fact, I'm going to hold on that question until we get to this part because then I can explain that worksheet for that part as we're going through it. But I can totally explain that. All right. So we had a question yesterday because I forgot to change our salt from our mummies, which was a big no-no. Oops. So we are going to do it today. I'm going to show you guys with Isabella's, who she had done she had done the lemon. And you might be able to see that it's sort of yellow and there's still a lot of coming out. We actually changed the salt on theirs already last week because there was so much liquid coming out, which is probably why I forgot to change it yesterday. But we're going to change it again today, and I'll show you how we can do that. So what you'll want to do when you change it, you want to scrape off as much salt as you can from your little item, whatever that is. Who knows? I see some lemon seeds coming out, like at the surface. And the reason why we want to scrape off as much salt is because we're going to weigh it, and we can record that. So you have your little mummy worksheet from before that you had a spot to record your weights. And so we were recording in ounces, I remember Isabella was recording in. And hers, I think, was 2 ounces before. And now it is 1 3/8 of an ounce. So it lost 5/8 of an ounce, which is pretty good. That's a quarter. Is that a quarter?
Like half an ounce.
That's a quarter of its body weight right now that it's already lost, which is awesome. So we could record that. Now our salt has all of the water that seeped out from the lemon into the salt to dilute that salt through osmosis. So we don't want to reuse this salt just because it's sort of already used up. So this will go in the trash, and we'll take a new Ziploc and we will make new natron, which is again, just a mix of salt and baking soda. So I'll fill this guy up with some new salt, and we'll do Georgia's later on today.
Quinn and Caleb say hi real quick.
Oh, hello, Quinn and Caleb.
Caleb.
Caleb. Kayla.
Calum.
Caleb. Ooh, that's a really cool name. I love it. Hello, Quinn and Caleb. All right, so I'm going to mix up my salt and baking soda. So I have a nice natron mix. And then I'm going to take my item and I'm going to put it back in. I've been putting Isabella's, I'm going to put hers back in sort of cut side down so that the liquid can get out more easily, because that's what we're doing when we mummify. And then we'll just seal this back up and we are ready to go. You might want a little bit more salt than this in it in your final option. So that is how you are going to change your mummies as we go. And we're going to do that pretty regularly for the next few weeks because mummification takes a little while. If you're doing a chicken, please make sure you actually wear gloves. We talked about how the salt will kill the bacteria, which makes it not smell as much. but you can never be too safe with that. So please, if you're doing an actual chicken where there is the ability to get sick from raw chicken, make sure that you are using gloves for that. All right.
Because you said, what is an electron? We have a question. What is an electron?
An electron is an elementary particle. So it's basically the tiniest building block. So we can think of the world in Legos, all sorts of different Legos that build things. And sometimes when you grab a Lego, you grab like a 2x4 Lego and you're like, wow, this is the smallest Lego I've ever seen. This is so cool. And then scientists actually fling things at each other in things called accelerators. And they fling things at each other and they try to break things apart. And sometimes they break that Lego apart and they're like, what? This 2x4 is made up of a 4x4 and a 4x4? How did that happen? And then we were like, oh, that's really cool though. Now we have 2 new particles we didn't know about. And then we'll fling those 2 new particles around and we'll see what we can find. And sometimes we find things even smaller. And when it gets to the smallest part that we can think of, we call those sort of elementary particles. So the electron's like the 1x1, even like the skinny 1x1, the dot 1x1. It's like the tiniest thing we have. And it has a negative charge. And then all of our atoms are made up of electrons and protons and neutrons. So a proton is not elementary though. So a proton has a positive charge that's really, really tiny also, except for when we break it apart. It breaks up into quarks and gluons that glue the quarks together. And I think, this is like way back memory right now, I think the quarks that make a proton are up, up, down, I think. But there's a whole bunch of different quarks. We've named them. We have like up, down, charmed, strange, top, bottom. And like every time we find a new one, we give it like a new name. And each quark has different things. Like it's got like different amounts of charge, different types of spin, and they all sort of add together in a Lego thing to make that proton. And you can mix different quarks together to make the neutron. And we mix neutrons and protons together. The neutron has no charge, it's neutral. We mix those together to make atoms. So like 1 proton, 1 neutron, and 1 electron that whizzes around is going to be hydrogen. And so that electron is like an elementary particle. It's our charges. And in fact, it's the charges that make our circuits go. So, all right. Our next thing that we're going to set up for tomorrow is the purple cabbage lab. So hopefully you've had a chance to get to the grocery store and get some purple cabbage. If you got hits from me on Bainbridge, you actually had a chunk of purple cabbage in there. So hopefully you put it in your fridge. Otherwise it's going to smell funny. This is what we do to prepare for tomorrow. We are going to chop our purple cabbage up into lots of really tiny pieces like this. You don't have to have a ton of purple cabbage. This is going to make a lot of it. I will say, if you're not going to eat it anyhow, you might as well make it, because kids, this is like quite possibly the most bang for your buck in chemistry you can get for kids science. It is the most amazing lab ever. And I actually have written a mystery story for my fun little character, Rosie Research, in this. And she makes a purple cabbage smoothie every morning, and she's going to add some clear liquid to her purple cabbage smoothie. And it's going to change colors. And we have to figure out what she added to her smoothie, because we're not sure, like, why did it change colors? What happened there? And those are things we get to discover tomorrow. So I'm just sort of roughly chopping up our purple cabbage. And what we'll do after that, let's see, I'll just put it all in the pot. And you're going to cover, there's a lot. I've got a lot. You're going to cover up your purple cabbage with water, and you're going to boil it. Now, you don't have to boil it for very long. 5 to 10 minutes will work. The longer you boil it, the darker and more blue your liquid will get. And it's because it's pulling out, it's breaking the cells in our purple cabbage. So it's breaking up all these little tiny cells in this purple cabbage. And that purple cabbage, what's making it purple is actually a thing called anthocyanin. And that is going to go into our water, and that is exactly what we want. So you want, like, sometimes I'll just boil it for an hour. And you can add extra water if you want, or if you want it to be a really concentrated mix, you can like let it steam off a little. But you're going to want to make sure you have like at least a cup of liquid at the end, if not more, for your kids to play with tomorrow. So tomorrow you're going to want to do this sometime today. Just chop up that purple cabbage, cover it in water, and boil it for like a long time. You can forget about it if you need to, because we're all going crazy, and that's totally cool because it'll just keep boiling. It'll go more in, and you're not going to hurt the actual chemical that we're extruding from that. And tomorrow when we come, you want to bring that and then everything else in your kitchen, bathroom, everything, like vitamin C that you want to crush up, or baking soda or vinegar, or parents, if you'll let them, or if you want to do it for them so they can see it, bleach or shampoo, water, anything. Just bring it all to the table. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. All right. So that is us getting ready for tomorrow and also stuff on changing our mummies. So let's talk about today. Today, we are going to look at how plants grow with light. And I have a question, and I'm curious about it. And anytime I'm curious about a question, I try to think, how could I set up an experiment to test that question? Because some of the stuff that we might do, we might be able to just look on Google and be like, how does plant color light, or how does colored light affect plants? And maybe Google will pop up the answer. But that's not actually how we discover things. So at some point, we have to discover new things. And we have to think about how can we test a question. So here is my question, and we're going to do it. I'm going to bring a prop in. It's going to be we are short on props, so it's maybe not the best prop. It's my arm. This is a plant. I'm a plant? Yes. I don't look like a plant. I'm your hand. You're in character. Okay. See, this is my little plant hand. Hello, world. Thank you. Fabulous. So my plant is going to be a dahlia. Ooh, I love dahlias. They're so pretty. I know, aren't they? They're so pretty. Okay, what do I do? Well, you're going to pretend to be a plant. Oh, I know how to be a plant. I'm so good at it. It's my best thing ever. Fabulous. All right, what do plants need to grow? Oh, yes, I know this. I know this. I know this. I want to raise my hand. I don't have a hand. I know. I'm sorry. I would raise my leaf if I could. What do you think plants need? Should we ask? Yes, okay. You out there. What do plants need to grow? Great question. What do plants need to grow? Let's see. Do you think they need like Coca-Cola? Ew, no, they don't need Coca-Cola. There's no Coca-Cola out there. No Coca-Cola. All right. Well, what do you think? Well, I need to start as a seed. Yes, we do. And then you plant me in dirt. Okay. Yes, we need dirt. The
Lindberghs say water.
Ooh, yes, I need water. Oh, good. What does the water do? Oh, yes, the water helps me just go pop like that. When I'm a seed, I soak up the water and I just pop out. Oh, fantastic. Good job, Lindberghs. You know. Okay, I'm going to pretend to be. Water is popping, and now I can grow. Wait. We're missing something. We're missing something important. All right, we have dirt and water.
We have air.
Oh, yes, I need some air, but maybe not so important.
We have...
I use carbon dioxide.
Sunlight.
Oh, yes, sunlight is my favorite. I love sunlight. Yeah, let's do some sunlight. Okay, what is sunlight? Ooh, great question, Dahlia. Is that my name? Yes, you're Dahlia. Okay. I like to be a dahlia. All right, let's look at sunlight. Sunlight gives me energy. I know, it's like plant food. Fantastic. So sunlight, did you know that sunlight's white light? Well, the sun looks pretty white. That makes sense. The sun does look pretty white. Did you know what white light is made of? It's made up of all the different colors of light. In fact, these are going to be my pretend plant food. That looks delicious. And we have all different colors in here. So here we have some white light. You notice something about the white light? Well, it's got lots of colors. I see blue and green and red and yellow. Oh, yes, every color of the rainbow is in there. That's right, every color. Eating white light's kind of like eating rainbows. Oh, love to eat rainbows. Okay, feed me, sunlight. All right, so we'll feed the sunlight. Nom, 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 nom. Yes, this is good. Nom, 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 nom. I am growing so much for sunlight. Yes, we needed sunlight. Perfect. But here's my question. Yes. What if I only fed you a color of light? What, like blue? Yeah. Will you grow? Do I like blue? I don't know. I'm curious. Well, let's find out. I don't know. All right, so let's get our little packets of blue light. Why did you cut them up like that? That's so weird. Oh, I cut them up like this because photons are little packets of light. So these are like little packets, little photons of blue light that come and you can eat. Oh, that sounds delicious. Yeah. Let's see if you like it. Okay, I'm going to try the blue light. Nom, 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 nom. What do? Do I grow? I don't know. Do I flower? I don't know. Well, do I need blue light? I don't know. Let me see. Nom, nom, nom. I don't know. It's not telling me. Okay, well, should we try with a different color? Yes, let's try a different color. Green. I wonder if I like green. I don't know. I've never tried green. I know, it's hard to know if you like a color. Okay, let's try. No. I don't know. I need an answer. Okay, well, maybe we should design an experiment. Well, what kind of experiment? Maybe we should just feed you one color of light. Oh, but what if I don't like it? Maybe you don't grow. I want to grow. I know. Please feed me the right color. There is no right or wrong. I don't know the answer. Well, how will you know if I grow better or worse? Well, we could make a control. You're going to control me? Nobody controls Dahlia. Nobody. No, we'll make a control. Like in science, when we make a control, we make it so that nothing is different. So we'll put one of you in light and one of you with just a colorful light. Okay. Will I like the light? We don't know, Dahlia. That's the whole point. We're going to find out. Will I grow if I like it? I kind of suspect so. Okay, I'm going to let you do this then. Okay, thank you, Dahlia. Tell me what I like, though. I want to know. Okay, well, if we really want to know what Dahlia likes, we're going to have to crowdsource this because I'm only going to do one color. So maybe you guys could choose a different color. If you're going to do this project without electronics, we're going to show you how to do it right now. And if you're going to do electronics, we'll show you how to do it in a minute. And we want to find out what color of light does Dahlia like? And we talked about a control, and that was keeping one just plain and simple. So what I'll do is my plain and simple one is just going to be dirt, some water, a seed, and the Ziploc bag. So I'm going to have my dirt like this, and I can plant my seed. I just need one. I'm doing peas, but I can plant my seed by pushing it in there. And then because we're going to put a colored light filter over one of them, we want to actually put a non-colored light filter over the other one because I want to make sure that it's the light that's doing it and not just like maybe the plastic does something else for it. Maybe the plastic helps. So maybe this one was getting like all of the colors of light and this one was just getting green, but they grew the same rate because this one also got a plastic bag. So in a control, everything has to be the same but one thing. So we're going to put a little plastic bag over this guy and we'll put it in our window. So that one is ready to go. This one is our control. And then the other one, I need to filter out all of the light except for one color. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to choose a marker with the color that I want to hit onto my plant. So for example, I might choose blue. And again, you probably want like a permanent Sharpie type of marker. And I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to color my Ziploc bag. And I got this one because it's got a nice like thick tip on it, which is really handy. I'm going to color on the back of this just to make sure I don't color all over our dinner table. So I'm going to keep coloring this. And hopefully some of you guys will choose to do green and some of you will choose to do red. Some of you will choose to do purple and pink so that we can all learn about the different colors. And in a normal science lab, we would actually do all of the colors we can think of and we would isolate everything just to see. But I don't have enough room on my windowsill to do all of the colors I can think of. I am going to have my girls do different colors though. So our family will have a variety of colors. And if you have siblings, you might have your siblings do the other color. So I did one side and I also have to do the other side to make sure that we have a nice, good filter. I'm just going to color in the other side. And if you want this filter to be darker, so it would filter out more of the other colors except for blue, we could do that by doing more than one Ziploc bag, or we could color the inside too. And that would actually make it even a better test if we had a better filter. All right, so I've got this guy mostly colored in here. So, whoops, I lost some on that side because I wasn't quite done. That's okay. We'll just do it like this. All right, so I have this blue guy. And again, if I want to, I can color, I could like flip it inside out for a moment, and I can make it even more colored, which is great because I really do want to make sure I filter out everything but blue. So I might take this and color it in some more. And if you're somebody who has the electronics, you could even do this and see how this compares to the other option. All right, so let's say that this is I'm happy with my blue filter. And so what's happening right now is that when white light hits this blue filter, the filter eats up everything but blue. It says, blue is my least favorite color of light to eat. It's disgusting. I will not eat it unless it just shine right on through. But when it hits red, it's like, oh my God, red, I love red. It's like cherries. Cherries are my favorite. And it gobbles it up. And it's like, oh, green's the best. It's like mint ice cream. And it gobbles green up. And it says orange. Oh, I love oranges. And it gobbles those up. And it likes bananas. And it gobbles those up. But when it gets to blueberries, it's like, oh, disgusting. Will not eat it. Which is why blue light gets through. And all the other colors of light from the white light will get blocked by this because it'll eat up all the other colors. In fact, you could use that explanation to think about maybe a color of light that plants don't like. All right, so to set this last part of the experiment up, I'm going to fill my second cup up, and this is my experiment. I still want to plant a pea, and I'm going to put this over it, and then I can put this inside of my window too. So I'll water them at the same time. I'll give them the same amount of water. I'll put them on the same windowsill so they get the same amount of light, except for this one's getting all of the white light through, and this one's just getting blue light. And we can track how that grows over time. And for the question about the piece of paper, that was this guy. So this is a little log that we can use, and you can write down the date, and then the control is the regular sunlight. So just this guy is the control. And here I'm doing blue, so I would write down blue right here. So it would be blue light. Because the blue light is what's getting through. It's the color that the filter doesn't like to eat. And if I did another one, or if you have a sibling that does another one, I could do red light or green light or orange light or whatever color you wanted to do there.
Good question. Should you plant a few seeds in each container in case one doesn't grow?
Ooh, great question. Yes, if you want to plant more than one seed in each container, just in case one doesn't grow, definitely do that. Make sure you plant the same number in each though. So maybe if you do 3 seeds in each, do it for all of them. And then, excuse me, every week or so, we're gonna check back. So this doesn't work as well for our observations if we check back tomorrow, because it's gonna take time for that seed to soak up the water, pop open, feel the warmth of the soil, start to make the root sense gravity and know which way to grow down and which way to grow up, and then start eating up the light. And we can't really see what the color of light does to our plant until we actually have the plant growing. So it's going to take a few weeks, which is why I have some sort of dates here. And you could actually print off more of these if you want to take more data. And then let's say date today, you might just say planted in soil. And maybe next week I come in and I write the date next week. And I say, oh, in the sunlight one, which is the first column in my control, I have a tiny bit of growth, or you could measure it. You could say it's 1 millimeter tall, or it has no leaves. And then I could go to the blue light one, which is going to be this guy with the blue filter on it, which will be this guy. And I would say, ooh, nothing. I don't see anything popping up yet. And that's a great observation. So you could do it either by observations and writing what you see, or you could do it by measuring the heights of your plants as they grow. And we'll do this over a few weeks. Peas grow really quickly, so it'll be really nice to see it nice and quick. All right. So we also said we have an electronic version. So let's say you don't want to spend the time coloring a filter, which is actually a really great way to do this. So I do not want to discourage that. This is a really great low-tech way to do this project. It might do it better because I've never done it the other way we're going to try it. I'm not sure, and I'm curious. So we're going to give it a go. What we're going to do with the other ones is, of course, you'll need one as a control. So the control will just be plain sunlight. And we'll plant RP in the plain sunlight. And these ones, I don't need to put a bag around because I'm not going to do a bag for either of them. I just need to make sure that if one thing happens to one, it also happens to the other. So this will be my control here. And the other one, I'm going to control what color light it gets. And to do that, I'll need my battery. I'll need some copper tape. And I'll need the color of LED. Since I did blue here, I can also do blue. Or I could choose a different color, sort of up to us. I'm going to test that my battery and my LED will work. So if you weren't here on Friday, the way that it goes is you need to have the LED one leg on the top and the bottom. So if I put both legs on the top, which is the top of the LED we call is the one with the plus sign or the writing, nothing happens. If I put them both on the bottom of the LED, nothing happens. If instead I actually take the legs and they straddle the LED and I put the short leg on the top, nothing happens. I know. You're like, when is something going to happen? If I flip it over and I put the long leg on the top of the LED and the short leg there, I do get my blue light. And I can look at my hand. It looks pretty blue. You might want to check and just make sure the colors are sort of what you're thinking. So like this is what red looks like. Ooh, red looks great. Let's see. I have a green one. That's here. The green looks sort of yellow for me. So maybe when I did green, I would try to like color over the LED with green maybe, or maybe I have a second green LED. I wonder if that one works better for green. Let's see. That one maybe looks a little bit more green, but we can try any of those out. I'm just going to make blue right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our strip of cardboard and we're going to add copper tape. And I drew out where I'm going to add it on this strip of cardboard so you guys can see it before we tape it down. But on one side, I'm going to leave a few inches empty. I'm going to leave a chunk empty here. Doesn't have to be exactly the same amount that I'm doing. What we're going to end up doing is we're going to put the battery here and we'll fold this over. So as long as it can sort of at least double fold over before we hit it. So you don't want to put it like all the way down to there. All right, so I'm going to put from here and then up, and it's not going to go over the edge. None of our tape is going to go around the corner. So I'll have one piece that goes here straight up to there. And then on the other side, I'm going to go from the top to the bottom, but I'm not going around that edge. So I'm never going to go around the edge, just top to bottom. So let's do that first. And ooh, I just realized you're going to need some Scotch or masking tape too. I didn't think about that. So my apologies. When I listed off the things we need, you're going to need some Scotch or masking tape too, because we have to tape that LED down. All right, so I'm going to take my first piece of copper tape. Again, it's tricky to get it started. And once it's started, we're not going to peel it all the way off because it'll get really like a ringlet and it's going to be hard to work with. So what I do is this is the sticky side. Once I have the sticky side, I'm going to tape it down and stick it to my cardboard. And I'm going to pull that white backing and stick it down as I go. And I'm just going to press it down just like this. All right. And if you accidentally rip it like that, we're going to start over. All right. So if we accidentally rip it, we want to start over because what will happen is it will create a cut in our circuit and it won't let the electrons move through. And I actually just measured my remaining piece of tape here and I realized it's not long enough to reach the bottom, which is going to be a problem. So I'm going to get a new piece of tape and I'm going to cut it off. This one will definitely reach more than I need. So if your tape rips for you as you're doing it, you're going to want to restart that process. You don't have to pull this piece up. You can just tape over the top of it. That's totally fine. So once I get it started, I'm going to tape this part down just like this. And then I'm going to pull that white really gently and press down as I go. Here we go. We're pressing it down just like this. And we're going to go all the way to the bottom. but we're not going to go around the sides of it. So just to the bottom, just like this. All right. And it doesn't have to hit the exact bottom or the exact top. There can be space there. And then you can press this down like that. So you have one that goes pretty much top to bottom, but not around the corners, just top to bottom in one long piece. And the other side, we're going to go top to sort of maybe 3/4 of the way down. So we'll leave this little piece empty. And I actually think I can use this piece. Oh yeah, that'll be perfect. I can use this piece. Yay. All right, so I'm going to get it started. I'm going to just rip off that piece that was a little crumply. And we'll stick it down. And again, as we pull, you don't want to pull it all off and then try to put it on. It gets like a ringlet and it's just terrible. Terrible. So we'll slowly stick this down onto this. Just like this. It's a little trickier doing it while you're holding it in the air. All right, beautiful. Oh no, I'm losing some of it. All right, I lost some of it at the very end, but we should be okay. We're just gonna move where my battery goes up. So you're probably going to go down a little further. That's totally fine. So the next part is our battery. Our battery, the bottom, so the part that has the bubbles on it, we're gonna put onto this short piece just like that. And we're gonna tape around from like sort of the top up. So you'll take some of your masking tape, so not copper tape. We don't want it to be conductive because we don't want to add any more wires to this circuit. Now take a little piece of tape and you can actually do something like this. You could tape the very tippity top of your battery and you could actually just tape it going up like this. It's totally fine to cover this part. We'll need this part exposed, but it's totally fine to cover this part with our tape. All right, so our battery is in place. And for this circuit to be complete, I'm going to make sure that there's no copper tape sticking out the bottom because that will actually connect my top and bottom together and we don't want that. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this up about halfway or so. Maybe actually all the way up, that would work. Just like this. I'm going to fold it up like that. And then I'm going to fold it up again. So it's sort of got this like loop piece. I'm going to fold it up again so that this line from the backside touches my battery. So I've just folded it a couple of times and that is going to be great. Once you have those folds in place, you're just going to let it hang out for a second. We can even not touch it. No big deal. We are going to put our LED on. So I'm going to find my blue LED. And LEDs are like one-way streets. So we have to make sure we get the long leg on the right side. But you can guess, and that's totally fine because if we guess wrong, we'll just flip it over. So I have a piece of copper tape here on one side and I have a piece of copper tape on the other side. So I have copper tape on both sides. I'm actually just going to take my LED and straddle the cardboard piece. And I'm going to pinch the legs onto the copper tape. So I have to make sure that I'm touching the copper tape with each leg. And then we can try it. We can test this out. Let's see if we work by closing it. Ooh, it doesn't work right now. So what we'll do is we will flip it over. So I'll flip my LED over so the opposite legs touch, and we will try again. So let's try again. Ooh, and there it goes. It lit up. So when I'm pressing this, this is going to be my light. I know which way my LED goes now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape these legs down. And when I tape them down, I need to make sure they're on top of that copper tape. So make sure that as you're taping them, it doesn't tape accidentally off the copper tape onto the cardboard. It needs to be touching that copper tape. So I'm going to take a piece of tape. I'm going to, even if you need to bend the legs, and I'm going to just tape it right in place. And I like to smush that tape on there really, really well. All right. And then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to tape that other leg of the LED onto that copper tape. Just like this. And because I've done something new, I'm going to actually double check that my project still works. So I've got this little guy that's been folded up. And when I press it, it is on, which is awesome. So now what I can do, if I want to, I can just sort of add a piece of tape at this bottom piece. Like this. So it just doesn't come off. You'll notice it's still not on, which is great. It turns on when I pinch it. And so maybe what I'll do is I'll put sort of something to pinch it when I want it on, or I could tape it down harder when I want it to be on, because we don't want it to be always on, because for our control, the sun is not always on. We have nighttime. So what we would want is we would want this to be on during the daytime and then it to be off during the nighttime so that they get the same amount of sunlight or blue light.
We have a question. Can we try black colored Ziploc bags?
Yeah, you could totally. That's a great question. So a black colored would be basically like blocking out all of the light. So some of the light will get through, but it wouldn't really necessarily have a color. It'd probably be light in like sort of the ultraviolet infrared colors that we can't see. Great question. I'm actually really curious. I really hope you guys do black so we can see and find out, does it work better or worse than some of the other colors? Great question. All right. So now I can take this and I can just sort of bend it over so that I can put my pot here and I can engineer a way for this to just shine right on down. And then I can plant this guy. I'm actually pretty happy with the way that this is. I'm going to tape this here like that. And I have my battery underneath right now because I'm thinking maybe if I just put something heavy on the plant, it'd be on, which could work. If you don't want to put it there, you don't have to. You could actually have it be taller and you could have it go like this too, because that'll work too. We just need a way to make sure that we can turn that little battery on and off. So I'm going to take mine down just like this. And I'm going to also tape it like sort of maybe like this so that it'll shine down on that plant for me. I'm going to add some more tape just to hold it in place. Let's see, we can put a piece here like that. The lovely thing about masking tape or Scotch tape is it sticks so well, and then you can just stick everything in place the way you want it. All right, and I want this to hang down a little bit, so I'm going to add another bend like that. It'll kind of bend over. So now when I press on the bottom, I have the light goes on, and I can plant this. I should have maybe put my dirt in first. I'm going to use this other cup to fill my little guy up here. And I'll fill it up with some dirt. And I can plant my pea in here. And now when I press this, it's getting just blue light, which is exactly what I want. I want to know, does my plant grow just as well with blue light as it does with sunlight? So what I'll do is I can't have this guy have sunlight. So I might put this in my closet and turn it on during the day and then turn it off at night. Or I might put this in the windowsill and this in like next to the windowsill that's a spot that doesn't get light and have it on right next to each other. That's totally fine too. All right, so I just sort of want to shield this so that it gets the blue light to cause it to grow. Mine happens to turn on when I press down, so I could even have this taped down to the table or put a little weight on here when I want it on, and when I take it off, it's off, which is kind of that's a great little switch I've got there. Your switch might be different, but the way the switch works is the moment that you have your battery here and the cardboard in contact, it's on. And then if you break that contact, it'll be off. So that's going to be what you're doing to keep those things together.
Can you hold it up again?
So here is my control, which will just be plain sunlight, no baggy. And then my experiment, which will be this fun little paper circuit we just made with also no baggy. And it sort of turns on and it's just going to be blue light for us. If you change the color of the LED, you'll have just red light or just green light. Or if you wanted to do black light and just like, like actually black, that would be no light. So you could put that in a closet with no light and we could see how that grows, which will be great. So these are experiments that we will run over the next 5 weeks that we have class together. And we will check back in with these just like we checked back in with the mummies. Before we switch over into Zoom, I just wanted to make sure anybody in my YouTube with comments has a chance to ask any questions. If they're not going to join us in Zoom, feel free to ask some questions. Make sure you give us some thumbs up, subscribe, share with all of your friends because this is totally a fun community science effort. We are trying to minimize all of the supplies you're going to be needing so that everything is sort of household, or at least coming up with plans like this, where if you don't have sort of the circuit supplies, there's another plan for you to still be able to do that project. Of course, with the exception of our Fridays where we do paper circuits. But other than that, we have so many projects and we're so excited to have you guys. So make sure you tell all of your friends because I know like 47 states are out of school right now. So we can have all of our friends come and join us. The more, the merrier. All right, do we have any questions real fast before we switch over? I love questions. Maybe not. I already see that some of us have switched over into Zoom, which is awesome. And we will, I'll get my girls in here and we'll start building over in Zoom too for anybody who has questions. We can look at it and we can troubleshoot it by looking at it then. What are we at? He's checking.
We have can you ease the transition to Zoom? The meeting ID.
Can we ease the transition to Zoom? In Patreon, there should be like the Zoom link. It's the same meeting ID every day. And it should be open from like 12 to 1 every day. And there's actually right now people in Zoom. I see like 7 families that are in Zoom right now. Hello. And so you can pop over and have Zoom open at the same time and just pop into that. They're actually seeing me talk to YouTube at the same time while they're waiting for a little
Just make sure to mute the YouTube.
Yes, just make sure to mute yourself on Zoom, I think is really what we would want. Or YouTube. Something. Yeah.
You just don't want the echo.
Yeah. It's just so we don't get, the echo chamber. All right. If there's no other questions, I'll have Evan do IT to make sure everybody gets over to Zoom that needs help. And then we will flip into Zoom. So you guys have a great afternoon. All right. Let's get to my Zoom peoples. Let's get this guy.